My name is Beau Kyster. This is presented by CrossVue, a Workday implementation partner. So really going to be covering how effective enterprise data management strategy paired with some of Workday's data tools such as PRISM and Accounting Center as well as adaptive planning are really taking our clients to the next level with their data journey. By way of introduction, my name is Beau Kyster, as I mentioned, Senior Deployment Strategist, focused on both HR and financials transformation within Workday. CrossVue is a full-service Workday implementation partner, so focusing on transformation, phase 1 as well as phase X deployments, as well as post-production support. And we're fully ramped on all of Workday's major products, and like I mentioned, going to be covering kind of the planning, accounting center, as well as PRISM side of the house today. So with that, I wanted to just cover a quick kind of problem statement to set the stage for what we're going to be discussing here today. So some of the challenges that we see with our clients, oftentimes prior to a Workday implementation, are data silos between various systems that really cause inconsistent definitions around their reference data. We see a lot of kind of lack of clean transactional data within their systems, and then a really heavy reliance around IT resources to develop integrations and complex transformation between their various systems. Just quick show of hands for everyone in the room. Any of those challenges resonate with your current state? Okay. Probably why you signed up for the session, which is great. So yeah, some of the solutions that we really take a look at and address as part of Workday implementations. So we really leverage the power of one approach that you hear a lot from Workday to eliminate those data silos, bring HCM, financials, supply chain all within the same system. We really focus on enterprise data management and successful foundation data model design, which allows for some of those consistent definitions and dimensionality across the entire enterprise. And then really from a PRISM Accounting Center and planning perspective, leveraging those tools allows for really enhanced data insights and action, and reduces the need for a lot of the manual reporting processes out of legacy systems and that heavy IT involvement in the data acquisition process. There we go. So quick agenda for what we're going to cover in the session today. So really going to start with an overview of enterprise data management, defining some of the key concepts around that strategy. We're going to talk about how we think about data in the context of either an initial Workday implementation or defining the longer term roadmap to bring additional SKUs and modules within the system. Then we're going to talk about the data tools within Workday, right? So leveraging PRISM from a high volume data warehouse perspective, Accounting Center, as well as planning, both workforce and financial planning. All right, so what is enterprise data management? It's really the overall practice of how we both define, access, collect, transform, deliver, and ultimately govern our data to generate meaningful insights. So embracing EDM can really reduce different deployment delays as well as poor user adoption that can result from unclear roles and responsibilities, misaligned data definitions like we've been talking about, questionable data quality, and opaque data complexity as well. So some of the different groupings of the data that we really focus on as part of the overall EDM strategy are your master data or reference data, which really sets the foundation for Workday, as well as your bottom system and enterprise landscape. And it's really crucial for us to get that right early on in a Workday transformation so that you're able to use it as the building block for all of the different modules within the system. Metadata is something that's often an afterthought within a data strategy, but metadata is really critical as well to help organize and reconcile your data across all of your different use cases. Of course, anytime we're talking about Workday, we're also thinking about worker data, and it's a huge focus for not only the end user experience within the system, but also ensuring that things like access and controls can be established effectively within Workday as well. And then lastly, we're really going to hone a lot into transactional data as part of the session and talk about how some of our clients are leveraging transactional data to enhance automated processing within financials, as well as really access to rich, detailed transactional data for reporting and planning purposes as well. So when we're establishing an overall enterprise data management strategy, it's really critical for us to think not just about one of these buckets, but all of them as a cohesive overall strategy. So drilling a little bit deeper into master data or reference data, as it's often referred to, you can see on the slide the Gartner continuum of maturity around master data quality. So we spend a lot of time with our clients prior to an implementation to help them understand, as well as help our consultants understand where they fall in that maturity spectrum in order to target really specific process and governance changes to improve their overall data quality. So on the left end of the spectrum, right, you have organizations that are completely unaware of issues they may have with their master data. And are we good on the mic? Okay. Which is somewhat rare for probably the folks in this room that are already identifying issues and thinking about how Workday can potentially fix those issues with their data. So most of our clients kind of fall somewhere in between that level 1, where they're aware that there's a problem but not sure how to solve for it, or up to level 3, where they have solutions in place but really only in specific data silos, so they don't have kind of that unified strategy across the entire enterprise. Anyone want to put up a kind of finger to where which of these levels you fall on, 0 to 5? See some 2s. Okay. So yeah, our goal is really to meet our clients where they're at in that maturity cycle and develop really bespoke solutions to help them level up in the short term, and then really identify a unified roadmap to get them to a point of optimization in the long run. We also focus on a really transformational approach to foundation data model design, because that's really at the forefront of a deployment where instead of lifting and shifting and really leaving our clients with the same issues they may have had in their legacy systems, developing a really best practice approach to the foundation data model. Awesome. So really quick on the data journey. So an organization's data journey is a really important input into the overall enterprise data management strategy. And so spend a lot of time understanding all the potential systems that may be interfacing with Workday in future state and developing a really cohesive strategy across that landscape to simplify that data journey and allow for really consistent data relationships across all of those system touch points. And so the way that we do that is really focusing on kind of these 6 key elements to an enterprise data strategy. And so just covering a few of those, right? I think developing really clear data definitions that are consistent, again, across all of your systems, so that you have, potentially at some point you've had a situation where something even as simple as a cost center, HR may think that there's one definition for a cost center, whereas finance and FP&A have a completely different definition. And so without everyone speaking the same language across the organization, you're really unable to produce cogent reporting for your end users. We also focus a lot on access and controls, which is critical for your overall foundation data model design, and it's a key part of the way that you set up organizations that combine your people and pennies and ultimately ensure that users have access to the data that they need right at their fingertips for real-time reporting, but aren't granted access to any data that they should not have visibility into. Also important to really define clear priorities for your data strategy. You probably heard the saying, if everything's a priority, then really nothing is. And so defining where those current gaps are in your reporting processes and access to data from your end users, it really helps to hone in on the critical items that you want to focus on today versus something that's nice to have and you'll add to kind of your long-term roadmap. So shifting a little bit into the product side of the house from the strategy side, our most successful clients are really leveraging Workday's intelligent data core across the entire enterprise, using that power of one concept to combine financial management, supply chain, human capital, and planning all within the same system. And so this allows them to leverage the really cool AI and ML tools that you heard about in the keynote this morning that Workday's constantly developing. By having that foundation set already, they're able to have clean data that lets them use those tools within the system. So, things like anomaly detection within the general ledger, rules-based auto reconciliation across banking and financial accounting are just some examples of those tools that our clients are leveraging. Drilling a little bit further into that intelligent data core concept, specific to the finance side of the house here, many of our clients are now leveraging Workday's Accounting Center to process really high volumes of transactional data that originate in non-Workday third-party systems, especially on the revenue side. And so, whereas in the past, many of our clients had very arduous integrations that their IT had to maintain and transform it into postable journals, Workday's Accounting Center really simplifies that process by bringing in a schema on read within the PRISM side of the house that simplifies those integrations, and then a really robust accounting rules engine that lives on top of PRISM that brings that accounting logic and maintenance of those rules back into the hands of accounting teams who really know the data the best. Whoops, sorry guys. Let me go back one more. Okay. So we are also seeing our clients that are using Accounting Center in conjunction with planning, which further enhances the value that our clients are able to gain by providing those really rich data insights from that transactional metadata that comes in through Accounting Center directly within the planning platform as well. All of those products, as powerful as they are really only good as the data itself. So focusing on that enterprise data management strategy and that transformational foundation data model design before embarking on implementation of these products really allows our clients to more successfully leverage the power of Accounting Center, of PRISM, and planning as well. Just a couple of examples across some of the different industries that we support at CrossVue. So one of our very first Accounting Center clients is actually in the automotive retail space, and they use Accounting Center to import their point of sale transactional data into PRISM and then leverage Accounting Center to drive insights from that data that they never were able to access within their ERP in the past. So things like promotional campaigns that they're running at each of their branches, different car models that were worked on as part of the repair, and even weather patterns are all being pushed into their operational planning cycle with Adaptive. And they're really able to understand their inventory needs and labor needs directly at each of their branches. On the banking and credit union side, almost every single one of our clients in that space are leveraging Accounting Center to ingest their core banking, their loan data, so different deposits and withdrawals, like very high volumes in the hundreds of millions annually. And then also leveraging workforce planning for headcount and labor planning at their branches and call centers where they often have really high turnover. On the insurance side, a lot of our clients are also using Accounting Center to bring in their premium data as well as their claims payments and doing calculations directly within PRISM for things like deferred acquisition costs and reinsurance, and then also leveraging that detailed data to gain insights into their revenue, operating expense, and compensation planning within the adaptive financial planning tool. And then lastly, we're starting to see a lot of penetration with Accounting Center and some of these tools within our healthcare providers. So they're a little bit late to the game, but they're starting to leverage it to bring in their EMR or electronic medical record data from systems like Epic or Cerner and automate their gross to net patient revenue calculations directly within PRISM, and also gaining insights into profitability metrics all the way down to the operation level using Workday's cost and profitability package solution that's built on both PRISM and Extent. So some really cool use cases there across different industries, but while these are some of the more common ones that we're seeing, the sky's really the limit for the use cases that these tools can support across a variety of industries, whether it be leveraging PRISM for different labor analytics use cases, or combining all of these products on the financial side of the house. Thank you.